Hey, it's Yash, and in this lesson we're going to cover lead scoring in Clay. The most frequent use case we see for lead scoring is in auto-scoring and prioritizing inbound leads. But in close second place is using lead scoring to filter down a large list of prospects for outbound campaigns. Regardless of your application, whenever you're lead scoring, your ultimate goal is to segment your list of leads into different categories of prioritization, because you don't want to treat all your prospects equally. They're certainly not created equally. Given the stage of growth of your business, who you serve, where you sit in the market, you're gonna want to send different types of messages to different prospects while prioritizing different types of leads for your sales team because they don't have unlimited time to spend on calls. Let's take a look at some examples in action. On an inbound form like this one, where I'm getting a few basic data points, first names, last names, company names, emails, and titles, I need to back my way into whatever other data points I'm using for my lead scoring algorithm. I'm going to use 3 criteria to prioritize these leads. Number 1, company headcount. I'm going to give higher scores to leads from larger companies because I might want to prioritize time with the sales teams for those individuals. Number 2, company industry. I'm also going to give a higher lead score to companies that sit in particular industries. For example, at Clay, we do best with software companies. We also work well with venture capital firms, marketing firms, and advertising agencies. I'll prioritize industries in order from recruiting to venture to advertising all the way up to software. And then last but not least, I'm also going to want to score individual seniority. On the individual level, I want to prioritize people who are more senior in their organization more heavily than those who are junior. Senior level individuals have better decision-making power and are more likely to drive adoption in their organization. Now that I know I need these 3 data points, I need to first figure out how to build that puzzle using the data I have from this basic inbound form. Recall the jigsaw framework. For companies, I need to get to websites and company LinkedIn URLs. For people, I need to get full names, which we already have, and domains from the company side or LinkedIn profile URLs for individuals. So, our first step here is going to be finding our missing corner pieces. The corner pieces we don't get in our form submission are company domains or either social profile URL. First, we'll go ahead and use a waterfall here on these work emails to find some of our social profile URLs. Then, we'll use the enrich person action to validate if those profile URLs are real or not. You can see a couple of these aren't found. And then to further increase coverage on our profile URLs, we'll use Clagent for AI web scraping on a conditional run to try and find more LinkedIn profile URLs for the profiles not covered by our waterfall. Then we'll merge those together into one final social profile URL column, which we can enrich in order to get initial company domains and company profile URLs as well. Once we extract those company domains and company profile URLs, you can see coverage still isn't perfect. So we're going to go ahead and again use conditional formulas on AI web scraping with Clagent to try and fill in some of the gaps on our data here. We'll merge all that into a domain final column, and then with enriching that data, we'll be able to finally extract industry and final headcount into our table. Now we've almost got all the 3 data points we need for our lead score. The last one is seniority, which is a little bit trickier because no data provider returned the definition of seniority that we want to use. So in our final step, here to prep this table for lead scoring, we're going to use AI on the job titles that we extracted from the enrich person integration to create our own seniority buckets using a prompt. In this prompt, we go ahead and create buckets for ICs, managers, directors or above, and C-suite level individuals. Once we execute that prompt, we've finally got all 3 of the points we need for our lead scoring algorithm. Let's see how that works in action. In the lead scoring integration, we first select the total number of scoring criteria that we want to include. We've got 3 here. Remember headcount, industry, and seniority. Then, for each of your scoring criteria, you're going to do a couple of things. 1, you're going to input the value that you actually want to score. So here I'm putting the employee count column into my lead scoring integration. 2, you're going to go ahead and include the comparison type. Notice that some data points you're going to want to compare a range between numbers. Some data points you're going to want to check whether or not they contain certain text. Some data points you're going to want to see whether or not they equal specific values. So based on your comparison type, you're then going to go ahead and put the values in the ranges of the keywords that you want to use and add your corresponding scores for each of those values in the column below. As an example here, you can see we've got ranges for employee sizes 0 to 500, 500 to 5,000, 5,000 to 10,000, and then 10,000 plus. And for each of those, like we said before, we're going to add an increasing score for larger organizations. And so we go 0, 1, 2, and 3. You can see we've taken the same approach here for our other lead scoring criteria. We've got seniority in here, equaling the different variations of junior to more senior, also going up from 0 to 3. And then we've got industry in here as well, using the contains filter, whether it's recruiting, venture, advertising, or software, once again going up from values 1 through 4. Once we configure our entire lead scoring integration, save and run across the table, you can see that Clay goes ahead and compiles total scores for each row of data based on the 3 attributes that we selected. Now we can use and extrapolate these values to better segment, sort, filter, and prioritize how we want to treat these leads in outbound and further enrichment. That's everything we've got for lead scoring. Up next, how to push data to your CRM.